What's up, guys? We have finally waited for the next generation of rugged smartwatch from KOSPET, and today we have a full review of the KOSPET Tank T4. You know, we have tested KOSPET Tank T3 Ultra and even KOSPET Tank T3 Ultra 2 on our channel Tech Brothers, but the upgraded version has only a few improvements, such as GPS route back and a new case material, but overall it is the same watch. As for the KOSPET Tank T4, this is a brand new smartwatch from its design to its operating system and functions. It is still a rugged smartwatch with full metal body, but now it has 10 ATM and SGS certified military-grade durability. It comes with 1.43-inch AMOLED display. One of the main features of the new KOSPET smartwatch is dual-band GPS support and offline map navigation. I'm very interested in checking out how this works, and we will do that later in this video. By the way, the KOSPET Tank T4 is powered by the new ApexMove operating system with the new animated effects, dynamic watch faces, personalized customization options, etc. You should also know that Cole Hawker is a brand ambassador. He is the Olympic champion in the 1500 meters race in Paris in 2024 and the world champion in the 5000 meters race in Tokyo in 2025. If the Olympic champion chooses the KOSPET Tank T4, then it must be a good smartwatch for running or other sports. I am certainly not an Olympic champion or a professional runner, but I will test this watch too. By the way, the KOSPET Tank T4 goes on sale today, October 17th, and you can buy it for only $185 using the coupon code in the description under this video. Let's move on to the full review and start with unboxing. So we have a box with a smartwatch, as well as two leather straps and a power pocket. However, the straps and power pocket are sold separately on the KOSPET online store. Let's start by unboxing the smartwatch. On the back of the box, we can read about its main features, such as Inox 360 shield structure, offline map, and 6 GNSS, 3 diving modes, and support for more than 180 sports. Opening the box, we see a package with accessories such as a charging cable, charging base, screen protector, and a user manual. It seems that KOSPET Tank T4 has won the gold medal at the London Design Awards 2025. That's very impressive. Finally, there is a smartwatch at the bottom of the box. It comes with a pre-installed silicone strap. You know, I like the design inside of the box, which reminds me once again that this watch is for outdoor sports. The unique feature of the new KOSPET Tank T4 is a power pocket. It is kind of power bank for the smartwatch. It comes with a charging cable, lanyard, and a user manual included. The power pocket looks just like the charging base, including size and shape, but it is orange. However, the power pocket has a built-in 850 mAh power battery, which the charging base does not have. We can see that the smartwatch is really charging from the power pocket, but we will talk about it in more detail later. Since the KOSPET Tank T4 is a sports smartwatch, it comes with a silicone strap. But you can also buy a black and brown strap to make it more classic for everyday or business wear. These straps are made of premium Arclan leather, and they really look good with a new KOSPET smartwatch. That's all the unboxing. Let's move on to the design of the smartwatch. You know, the KOSPET Tank T4 feels like a completely new watch, most likely because of its silver color. The smartwatch is also available in black. However, it has a lot of common with the previous generation, namely the bolts around the dial, 4 textured buttons on the sides, and even the rugged design label on the side. Only the back panel is different, because it has new health tracking sensors and a 4-pin charging base. At the same time, the size and weight of the new KOSPET Tank T4 are almost the same as the previous KOSPET Tank T3 Ultra, namely 48.6 by 48.6 by 13.7 mm. And 77 grams. Talking about materials of the new smartwatch, the bezel, case and back panel are made of stainless steel. The screen on the front and health tracking sensors on the back have Corning Gorilla Glass 3, which prevents scratches and fingerprints. The rugged design of the KOSPET Tank T4 even has its own name, Inox 360 Shield Structure, which has won US and London Design Awards. In addition, the watch is certified by SGS, which is a Europe-leading independent lab to meet 20 US military standards. As for the water resistance, now it is 10 ATM and IP69K. The smartwatch supports up to 45 meters diving and even high-pressure washdowns. The KOSPET Tank T4 really looks very solid and premium. When it comes to the strap, I like the silicone one that comes with the watch. It is flexible and comfortable on the wrist. It has the KOSPET logo and a number 22 on the back, so you know its width. The smartwatch uses a quick release mechanism, so changing the straps is very quickly and easy. I have already shown you these leather straps, and they are perfect for everyday use. I also think that the metal strap will be available for the new watch later, the same as the previous model. So overall, the KOSPET Tank T4 looks fresh and new, but it has the same weight and size as the previous watch. So if you upgrade, you will not notice any difference in how it feels on your wrist. That's very good. Talking about display of the KOSPET Tank T4, it has a diagonal of 1.43 inches and resolution of 466 by 466 pixels. This is a high-quality AMOLED panel with a maximum brightness of 1000 nits. The screen is clearly visible outdoors, which is very important for a sports watch. There is even automatic screen brightness available on this watch, and it works really well. I should also mention the Always-on Display feature. You can use the Follow Current watch face for the Always-on Display mode or select a different style for it. There are 8 styles available for the Always-on Display. By the way, the display is touch-sensitive, but you can also use physical buttons to navigate. This is really convenient when doing sports, when your hands are sweaty or even wet. You know, since the KOSPET Tank T4 has a new operating system called ApexMove, it comes with a new user interface, functions, widgets, etc. Let's talk about this. It seems that the main feature of the new operating system is offline maps, because when you just turn on the watch, you see the navigation. We will talk about GPS, navigation and offline maps a little later. The KOSPET Tank T4 has new watch faces. There are 10 watch faces available out of the box, but you can download much more from the mobile app. By the way, the app is also called ApexMove, and we will take a look at it later. By swiping right, you can read new notifications on your watch. When you swipe up, the widgets are opened, such as daily activity, weather forecast, heart rate, sleep, and training plan. I think you can add more widgets through the mobile app. I will check it out when we look at the app. By swiping down, there's a quick settings menu available, with many options, such as phone calls, flashlight, do not disturb mode, sleep mode, find phone, display duration, battery, and many others. You can even add or remove some of the functions you need or don't need. The smartwatch also has a full settings menu, which includes watch face settings, time and date, display and brightness, sounds and vibration, map manager, workout settings, Bluetooth settings, sleep mode, SIMs, password, morning brief, do not disturb, shortcut button settings, battery health, and system settings such as language, QR code, etc. Finally, the KOSPET Tank T4 has an app list by swiping left. These are all the functions available on the smartwatch, and they include workout, training plans, workout records, heart rate, blood oxygen, stress, mood, one-tap measurements, activity, sleep, calls, notifications, weather, alarms, calendar, music, calculator, compass, barometric altimeter, navigation, ambient temperature, flashlight, walkie-talkie, voice assistant. In the More menu, you will find Sun and Moon, World Clock, breathing exercise, stopwatch, timers, camera remote, and Find Phone. You know, the KOSPET Tank T4 has some features that were not available on KOSPET watches before. I haven't even seen them on other smartwatches. For example, you can measure your heart rate, SpO2, stress level, and mood using just one tap. I have seen compass and barometric altimeter on other smartwatches, and they will be useful for hiking and other outdoor sports. However, the ambient temperature is a new feature on the smartwatch for me. I am very surprised to see a walkie-talkie on this watch. I haven't figured out how to use it yet, but if you're interested, I will make a separate video about it. Overall, I like the new operating system on the KOSPET Tank T4 smartwatch. It runs smoothly and there are many settings and features available. Now let's take a look at the mobile app. As I said before, the companion app for the KOSPET Tank T4 is called ApexMove. On the Home tab, you can see your daily activity, heart rate, sleep, etc. There are also workout modes, training plans, workout records available in the app. On the Explore tab, we can view a map and create or import routes. There are favorite routes and locations available here. Finally, you can find settings in the app, such as Watch Faces Store, Achievements, Weekly Activity Reports, Goal Settings, Weight Management, etc. By the way, you can share your activity from the smartwatch to Strava. The smartwatch settings include display settings, screen wake, watch face store, sport recognition, find device, and more features. By the way, remember I told you about widgets? They are actually called shortcut cards on this watch, and you can add many more of them in the app. That's very good. I was surprised to go to the music and see 28 gigs of available memory there. This means that you can download music to the watch and listen to it without a connected smartphone. Let's check it out. I downloaded a few tracks and went to the music section on my smartwatch. Here we can select the music source, watch music or phone music, and we can even connect wireless earbuds to the smartwatch. Yes, the music really comes from the earbuds, and you don't need a smartphone for that. Great! This feature was missing in the previous KOSPET watches. Let's go back to the app. The other settings here are notifications and reminder, health monitoring settings, events, route and location, offline map, watch settings, firmware update, factory reset, and about device. That's all. Before we move on to the sports features on the KOSPET Tank T4, let's check out Bluetooth calling. The new KOSPET smartwatch has a built-in speaker and microphone, so we can receive and make phone calls. However, it doesn't have a SIM card slot, so the watch must be connected to the smartphone. In the app, you need to add the contacts to the watch. By the way, you can add up to 500 contacts, and then you can go to the calls section on the watch and call one of your contacts. And there are also call logs, keypad, and emergency SOS available on the smartwatch. Okay, now let's talk about the most important thing for sports watches – sports functions. The KOSPET Tank T4 smartwatch has 183 workout modes, including 23 Apex Motion sports modes and 160 freestyle training modes. There are even workout settings available on the watch, such as workout detection, GPS settings, and GPS has expired reminder. As I said, I am not a professional athlete, so I will use the smartwatch for walking. I want to do a test, start a walking mode on the KOSPET Tank T4 smartwatch and iPhone, and then compare the distance, steps and maps. Let's go for a 30-minute walk. By the way, I disconnected the watch from my smartphone so that it will only use the built-in GPS for navigation. At the end of the walk, we see a lot of information on the smartwatch, such as distance, steps, calorie consumption, average step rate, recovery time, heart rate zones, heart rate, speed, training effect, and outdoor walking. However, I don't see a map here, except this small one. I cannot enlarge it on the watch. There is a map in the app, and you know it is exactly the same as on a smartphone. As for the distance, they are also the same on the KOSPET Tank T4 and iPhone, 2.37 kilometers. So the smartwatch has accurate GPS navigation. When it comes to the main feature of the KOSPET Tank T4, offline maps, first you need to download them to the smartwatch. There's an official video on how to do this, and I will leave a link to it in the description. Once the map is downloaded to your watch, you can open the Apexmove App on your smartphone, go to Explore and create a route. Now select the workout mode and customize. On the map, you can select the waypoints if you want and the final destination. After that, just press the Save button and send to watch. Finally, you can go to the navigation on the smartwatch and select the route. That's it. You can go for a walk, a run, or do other sports, and track your movements on the map on the KOSPET Tank T4 smartwatch. I just remembered that I didn't tell you about the battery of the KOSPET Tank T4. So it has a capacity of 500 mAh. The battery life in a typical use is about 14 days. However, if you use always-on display mode, then the battery life drops to 5-6 days. Moreover, with constant use of GPS, the smartwatch will work for about 22 hours. The GPS on all watches drains the battery significantly, so please keep this in mind. You know, the power pocket can be a lifesaver when you are doing long sports sessions. It is a small power bank for the smartwatch. The battery capacity is 800 mAh, so you can charge the smartwatch 1.5 times more and get up to 40 days of battery life with normal use and 50 hours with GPS use. This is a useful accessory for those who go on long hikes, for example. So the new KOSPET Tank T4 smartwatch really surprised me. It has many improvements over previous generations, such as a new design with a more durable case certified by SGS, as well as 10 ATM and IP69K water resistance, a new Apexmove operating system with many new features and sports modes. But the most important improvements for me are the built-in storage for listening to music, as well as the built-in GPS and offline maps. Now you can use navigation on your watch without a connected smartphone. I think this is a very useful feature for athletes and beyond. You know, the KOSPET Tank T4 is a decent competitor to Garmin, but it is 2 or 3 times cheaper. Thank you for watching this video. See you soon!